The Oklahoma City Thunder were eliminated in the Western Conference Finals by the San Antonio Spurs, something a lot of fans did not see coming, but here we are, rebuilding the Thunder back into championship contention. And taking a look at our team's roster, we have a lot of talent we are working with here. Majority of our players are an 80 overall or higher. We have the MVP in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he's on a 6-year contract, Chet is on a 6-year contract, and so is Jalen Williams. And if we're being honest here, there's only 2 players on our team that I consider untouchable. The first is of course MVP Shai, and the second is Chet Holmgren. But now let's see which team goes on to win the NBA Finals. We have the Spurs taking on the New York Knicks. Let's go ahead and simulate round. And it looks like the New York Knicks will be winning in Game 7 with Karl Anthony Towns winning Finals MVP. In the 2026 NBA Draft, we do end up with 2 first-rounders. The first is a lottery pick at pick number 12, and the second is a 17th overall pick via the Philadelphia 76ers. I am going to be keeping our current head coach Mark Daigneault. It wouldn't make much sense firing him after making the Western Conference Finals and last year winning the Thunder a championship. Before we go to the NBA Draft, we are trying to hit 10,000 subscribers this summer, and it's definitely possible with your guys' support. So if you haven't already, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to like the video and hype the video. All 3 buttons are absolutely free, and it really does help out the channel and video a ton. Let's now go to the NBA Draft and see which player we're going to be drafting here with our picks. The first overall pick the Washington Wizards have, and they go on to take Darren Peterson. The Utah Jazz with the 2nd overall pick take Cameron Boozer, and the Grizzlies are going to be trading away their 3rd overall pick to the Utah Jazz. Whoa, they just brought back Jaren Jackson Jr. That makes absolutely no sense. But for some reason they pulled off the trade, and now the Utah Jazz take Caleb Wilson. Let's sim to our pick and see which player we're going to be able to select here. We already have way too many guards on this team, but Kingston Fleming fell all the way here to pick number 12. It would not make sense for us to pass up on him. As you guys can see in SN rank, he was supposed to go pick number 5, and 2K rank pick 5 as well. So I'm going to go ahead and draft Kingston Fleming with our 12th overall pick. And with our 17th overall pick, I'm going to draft a big man like Jaden Quaintance. We may need ourselves a new starting center for the future, and he could possibly be the player. It does say he's only 6'9", but in real life, he's actually 6'10" with a 7'5" wingspan. So I'm going to go ahead and draft Jaden Quaintance with our 17th overall pick. We do still have ourselves a 2nd round pick, and I'm going to go ahead and draft Patrick Ngomba. I'm not sure how good of a player he'll develop into, but if he does develop, that'll be good for our team. So I'm going to take him here with our 37th overall pick. And now comes a pretty tough decision. Do we really want to pick up the team option for Isaiah Hartenstein? He's being paid $28 million. I think we're going to go ahead and decline his team player option, and that's because we should be able to afford him for a lot cheaper in free agency. Lou Dort, I'm definitely not paying $18 million, especially from the season that he's had and the playoff run that he had. But Case and Wallace, we are going to pick up the team option. The same for Jared McCain and Nikola Topic. Qualifying offers, it looks like we don't really need to give anybody a qualifying offer here. Who do we have bird rights on? We do have bird rights on Lou Dort and Isaiah Hartenstein. Since we are in need of a starting center, I will be bringing back Isaiah Hartenstein, but at least we're going to get him for a lot cheaper now. Instead of paying him that $28 million, we could get him back for about $10 million annually. I'm going to try and flat rate this with the team option on that 4th year, and he will most likely be accepting. Do we bring back Lou Dort? I'm not sure. I think we have to bring him back, but then we're probably going to be trading him away this offseason. I don't really want to keep him on this team, so let's go ahead and offer him a 2-year deal, but we will be moving on from him this offseason. And it looks like both players do go on to accept their contracts. We get Isaiah Hartenstein back on a 3-year, $30 million contract, Lou Dort on a 2-year, $10 million. And now I'm going to start discovering some trade offers this offseason. Let me see which trades we could pull off to make our team championship contenders once again. So I did try and pull off a massive trade here with the Milwaukee Bucks for Giannis Antetokounmpo, where we would send them 3 young players in Jalen Williams, Kingston Fleming, Lou Dort, plus 3 first-round picks. But of course, the Milwaukee Bucks front office declined, so we're going to have to go and try and pull off a different trade. I've tried to pull off every trade you could possibly think of, and now we're here talking with the Cleveland Cavaliers about trading for Evan Mobley. Imagine the front court of Evan Mobley and Chet Holmgren. We would be absolutely unstoppable defensively, and a big 3 of Shai, Evan Mobley, and Chet Holmgren. So let's see what the Cavs say. They give us a counteroffer. They want Jaden Quaintance for Jalen Tyson. You know what? You got a deal. Let's go ahead and pull off this trade. And now we have a big 3 of Shai, Chet Holmgren, and Evan Mobley. What we are going to be doing is changing Chet Holmgren's position from power forward to make him our brand new starting center, where he does go up in overall as well. Since there is a 15-player limit and currently we have 17 players on our team, I'm going to be trading away Thomas Sorber and Patrick Ngomba to the Detroit Pistons for 2 first-round picks. Here we are at the start of this season with our brand new 9-man rotation. So in the starting lineup, we currently have ourselves Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Cason Wallace, Jalen Tyson, Evan Mobley, and Chet Holmgren. Then off the bench, we have AJ Mitchell, Isaiah Hartenstein, Jared McCain, and Alex Caruso. We're most likely going to be the best defensive team in the entire NBA, especially with the front court of Evan Mobley and Chet Holmgren. Let's simulate the first few games of the season to see how we do. The first game is up against Miami Heat, who we go on to defeat 127-116. Evan Mobley in his Thunder debut with a 30-point double-double. 24 from Tyson, 20 from Mitchell, 19 from Chet, and an 11-point double-double from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Let's see if we could also defeat the Washington Wizards and the Golden State Warriors. We do end up defeating the Wizards but lose to the Golden State Warriors by 4 points. In the game against the Wizards, Shai had himself 32, 26 from Chet, and a 17-point double-double from Evan Mobley. To start out this season, we are rolling with a 4-star overall system proficiency, perimeter-centric under Mark Daigneault. And now what I will be doing is simulating until the end of this season, but if there are any trades to be made, I will be stopping at the trade deadline to show you all. At the end of this season, Victor Wembanyama goes on to win his first ever MVP. Shai and Chet Holmgren were in the word races to winning MVP when I last checked. Cameron Boozer, Rookie of the Year, Jalen Green, 6-man, Victor Wembanyama also winning Defensive Player, Risa Shea Most Improved, Nikola Jokic, Clutch Player, our head coach, Mark Daigneault wins Coach of the Year, and we also win Executive. Let's take a look at all NBA selections. We do get Shai on an all NBA second team, and we also get Chet on an all NBA third team. Chet makes it on an all defensive first team, and it looks like, whoa, wait a second. So of course, Evan Mobley also makes it on an all defensive second team. I almost completely forgot about him, but it looks like we have 2 players in an all defensive team and 2 players in an all NBA team. We ended this season as the number 1 seed, winning a total of 71 games and losing only 11. And before we start simulating the playoffs, I do want to show you guys the player stats, so let's go ahead and take a look at how our team players were performing. Our leading scorer was none other than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, averaging 27 points, 3.5 rebounds with 8 assists. Chet Holmgren was averaging 21 and 11, 19 and 10 from Evan Mobley, 13 from AJ Mitchell, 12 from Tyson, and 12 from Jared McCain. We had ourselves a lot of players in double-digit scoring, and our offensive rating was number 1 and our defensive rating was number 2 with the best point differential by 17.2. But now it's time for the playoffs, and in the first round, we are taking on the Phoenix Suns, who have themselves Kevin Porter Jr., Devin Booker, Dillon Brooks, Ryan Dunn, and Kaman Maluach with Jalen Green as their 6-man. And now it is time for the NBA playoffs. Let's see how we do here in the first game. We do end up winning game 1, 144-122. Shai had himself a 31-point double-double, 30 from Holmgren, and 18 from Evan Mobley. Game number 2, we also go on to win. Mobley leading the way here with a 28-point double-double, 25 from Shai, and 20 from Cason Wallace. Game 3, we also go on to win, and we go on to sweep the Phoenix Suns. So far here in the playoffs, wait a second. Okay, so it looks like the points per game for Shai is glitched out because it says he's only averaging 7 points per game, which is impossible. Yeah, so I'm not sure why it says he's averaging 7 points per game, but as you guys can see here, in the last 4 games against the Phoenix Suns, he was absolutely balling out. 31 in game 1, 25 in game 2, 26 in game 3, and then 55 points in game 4. But clearly it's glitched out here. It says he's only averaging 7 points per game, which is not true. And now in the second round of the playoffs, we're taking on the Houston Rockets, who have themselves Reed Shepherd, Amen Thompson, Kevin Durant, Jabari Smith Jr., and Alperen Şengün. Let's see if we're also able to get past the Houston Rockets here in the second round. Game number 1, we do end up winning. Mobley with 27 and 12, Shai with 24 and 10, 23 from Jalen Tyson. Game number 2, we also go on to win. Shai with 34, 33 and 12 from Chet Holmgren. We do also go on to win game 3, and we go on to sweep the Houston Rockets. We did end up winning game 4 by 1 single point. AJ Mitchell led the way here with 22 points. Shai had a double-double, and so did Chet and Mobley. And now we've made it back to the Western Conference Finals. It looks like the Minnesota Timberwolves swept the San Antonio Spurs here in the second round. And in the Eastern Conference Finals, we have the New York Knicks taking on the Detroit Pistons. But let's take a look at the Timberwolves roster. So they have themselves Dante DiVincenzo, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Julius Randle, and Rudy Gobert, with Ayo Dosunmu as their 6-man. Game number 1, we do end up winning. Chet dropping 27 and 13, 25 from Shea, and 22 and 10 from Mobley. Let's see if we can also go on to win game number 2 here, and we do end up losing game 2. Whoa, we allowed them to score 142 points. Ant-Man and Julius Randle with 30 plus points each. Shea had 34, 25 from Chet. Can we at least win game 3? And no, we cannot. We also end up losing game 3 in overtime. They defeat us here by 3 points. Game number 4, we just went down 3-1 against the Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards with 50 points. Shea had 23, 19 and 12 from Mobley, and don't tell me we're going to get gentlemen swept here by the Minnesota Timberwolves. Thankfully, we do go on to win game 5. 119 to 114, Shea had 32, 29 and 13 from Chet Holmgren. Can we top the series? And yes, we can. It looks like it will be going to a game 7. Chet had himself 30, 20 and 11 from Shea, 18 from Jared McCain. Let's go ahead and jump into Simcast where we will have home court advantage. And so far we do start off the first half pretty strong, and it looks like we are going to be eliminating the Minnesota Timberwolves, winning here 128 to 100. Shea had himself 30, 27 and 11 from Evan Mobley. And now we have made it to the NBA Finals. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander goes on to win Western Conference Finals MVP, averaging 28 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, 1 block on 48, 40, 87 shooting splits. Karl-Anthony Towns, Eastern Conference Finals MVP, which means the New York Knicks are back in the NBA Finals. They are the defending NBA champs, at least in this video, because they beat the San Antonio Spurs last year in this simulation, so they have themselves Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, and Karl-Anthony Towns. They were the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, and we do go on to defeat them here in Game 1, scoring 145 points. Mobley 28-10, 24 from Shea, 21 and 14 from Chet Holmgren. Game number 2, we also go on to win. Chet with 37 and 11, 30 and 14 from Shea, 20 from Tyson, and 20 from Mobley. That does put us up 2-0. Let's see if we can make that 3-0, and we do end up losing game 3 here, 129 to 126. OG dropped 27 points, Shea with 29. What about game number 4? And it looks like the series is tied here. They go on to defeat us here, 132 to 120. Shea had 38. He played absolutely amazing, but sadly we do fall short. And they also go on to win game 5, going up 3-2. Don't tell me we're about to get eliminated here. And it looks like it will be going to a game 7. We win game 6, 148 to 125. Shea with 33, 27 and 10 from Mobley, 23 and 11 from Chet. We are now in a winner go home situation. We have to win this game or we will be eliminated. We do have home court advantage on our side. Let's jump into Simcast here and see what happens. So far the Knicks do have the lead. We are right behind them though. They're up by 2 points, 5 minutes remaining. Back and forth battle. 3 minutes remaining. They still have the lead. And it looks like they are going to be defeating us here in game 7. I was about to say that would have been too easy for us to win a championship in the first year, but it looks like the New York Knicks going to win a back-to-back championship with Karl-Anthony Towns winning Finals MVP. And don't you guys worry, I already know which trade I'm going to attempt to pull off this offseason. I have a big trade in mind. I do want to show you guys the player stats here for the playoffs in case you guys wanted to see. We played a total of 22 games, and of course the Shea points are still glitched out. It says he's only averaging 14, but he was averaging a lot more. And now let's go in the offseason and see which trades we're going to have to make. In the 2027 NBA draft, we end up with pick 12, 13, 27, and 29. And honestly, I'm most likely going to be trading these picks away, maybe packaging them with some players. We don't really have time to be developing any rookies here. We are trying to win now. Mark Dagnall's contract has expired from being our head coach, and honestly, I think we're going to try and move on from him. We're going to attempt to bring in Joe Mazzulla here, who has a lot of badges, a high coaching overall, so let's go ahead and offer him the most amount of money we can, which is $11 million. Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and fire some people here. That way, we're able to offer him even more money. Now we're able to offer him about $11.2 million. It looks like he will be accepting, so we bring in Joe Mazzulla as a brand new head coach. In order for us to pull off a big trade, we are going to have to pick up some team player options, which is after the NBA draft. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and trade away our current picks for future first round picks, and then we'll pick up the team player options for our players and try and pull off some trades. The Memphis Grizzlies are offering us 2 first round picks, future first round picks for 3 of our first round picks we have this year. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and pull off this trade. We don't need our first rounders. We get ourselves some valuable first round picks in the future that we could use a part of a trade. And now it's time to pick up some team player options. This way we're able to pull off some trades. Like Isaiah Joe is being paid $11 million. That's definitely a contract we're going to have to include in a trade if we want to pull off something big here. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up his team player option. The same for Jalen Williams and Jalen Tyson. In qualifying offers, we do need to bring back Cason Wallace, which is going to be a pretty big free agency signing for us. He is our starting shooting guard, so unless we're planning on moving on from him, we are going to try and bring him back. But first, I want to see how much money he wants. He wants about $14 million, and honestly, you know what? We could go ahead and pay him that. He doesn't have any offers from any other teams, but how much more money do we have here to spend? We don't really have much money we could spend in free agency, so bringing him back does not really affect our ability to sign other free agents. I'm going to go ahead and offer Cason Wallace a 4-year deal, paying him about $14 million annually, and he will be accepting on a 4-year, $62 million contract. We are going to try and pull off a massive trade here with the Houston Rockets that'll bring us Kevin Durant to be our brand new starting small forward. I feel like it would be an amazing way to end out his career, coming back to the team that drafted him and possibly even winning a championship. So we're going to go ahead and offer the Houston Rockets Alex Caruso, Isaiah Joe, Nikola Topic, and Lou Dort. For now, they do decline, so let's start throwing in some first-round picks. 2 first-round picks does not get it done. Okay, I thought this definitely would have gotten done by now, but clearly that's not the case. What if we throw in Kingston Flemings over Lou Dort? We have not played him, and I don't think he's going to play for us this season either. He has 3.5-star trade value, and they still decline. I'm not sure why the Houston Rockets would decline this. They have not had much success here with KD, but it looks like we're not bringing him in after all. I've just pulled off a pretty big trade here with the Detroit Pistons, sending them Alex Caruso, Lou Dort, and 2 first-round picks for Michael Porter Jr. I was planning on bringing in MPJ last offseason, but it looks like now he signed with the Detroit Pistons, but now he will be our brand new starting small forward. Here we are at the start of this season with a new and upgraded 9-man rotation. In our starting lineup, we have ourselves Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Cason Wallace, MPJ, Evan Mobley, and Chet Holmgren. And off the bench, we have AJ Mitchell, Isaiah Hartenstein, Jared McCain, and Jalen Tyson. I feel like this season, we're definitely going to win a championship. We have the perfect mix of offense and defense. Let's go ahead and simulate the first few games. The first game is up against the Houston Rockets, who we end up defeating 129-92. Evan Mobley with 31 and 10, MPJ in his Thunder debut with 19 points, Shai with a double-double, and 16 from Mitchell. Can we also go on to defeat the Dallas Mavericks and the Cleveland Cavaliers? And we do end up losing to the Mavericks, but we defeat the Cavaliers by 40 points. Evan Mobley with 30, 28 from MPJ, 22 from Chet Holmgren. The Dallas Mavericks did end up picking up Nikola Jokic in free agency, so now they have a duo of Cooper Flag and Jokic. This season, our team is rolling with a 4.5-star overall system proficiency balanced under our brand new head coach, Joe Mazzulla. I am now going to start simulating here until the end of this season, but if there are any trades to be made, of course, I will be stopping at the trade deadline to show you all. We've already pulled off a trade with the Detroit Pistons, and now I'm going to try and pull off another for Ausar Thompson. He's one of the best defensive players in the league, and Cason Wallace has been turning the ball over way too much for my liking. 3 turnovers per game, and that's affecting our defense a ton, so I'm going to try and offer the Detroit Pistons Cason Wallace and Isaiah Joe for Ausar Thompson, and whoa, the trade gets accepted just like that. I thought we were going to have to throw in a bunch of first-round picks, but that was not the case. This is definitely going to be one of the most unstoppable starting lineups in the NBA. We have ourselves Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Ausar Thompson, Michael Porter Jr., Evan Mobley, and Chet Holmgren. And now I'll see you all at the end of this season. At the end of this season, Victor Wembanyama goes on to win a back-to-back MVP, Tyron Stokes Rookie of the Year, DeJounte Murray 6-Man, Victor Wembanyama also winning Defensive Player, Kyle Filipowski Most Improved, Luka Doncic Clutch Player, Mitch Johnson Coach of the Year, and the Spurs also win Executive. Let's see if we get ourselves any All-NBA selections. We do land ourselves Shai on an All-NBA third team, and that will be it for All-NBA teams, but we also get Chet on an All-Defensive first team. And Ausar Thompson also on an all-defensive first team. So 2 players on an all-defensive first team, but no Evan Mobley. And this season, we ended up as the number 2 seed, winning a total of 64 games and losing only 18. And honestly, being the number 2 seed is okay, as long as we win ourselves a championship. That's what we're here for, so hopefully we're able to win that. Now let's take a look at player stats. So our leading scorer was none other than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, averaging 26.5 points per game. 21 from Chet, 17 from MPJ, 17 from Mobley, 12 from AJ Mitchell, and 11 from Ausar Thompson. And for team stats, we did have the best offensive rating in the entire NBA. When it comes to defensive rating, we were at place number 6. I believe before trading for Asar Thompson, we were at 10 or 11. So we did get better defensively during the second half of the season. And now in the first round of the playoffs, we are taking on the Houston Rockets, who have themselves Reed Shepherd, Amin Thompson, KD, Jabari Smith Jr., and Alperen Şengün. Let's see how we do here in the first game of the playoffs. We do go on to win game number 1, 137-94. Shea had himself 33, 23 from MPJ, a double-double from Mobley and Chet Holmgren. Game number 2, we also go on to win. Shea with 32 and 12, 27 from MPJ, and 25 from Evan Mobley. We also go on to win game 3, and we sweep the Houston Rockets. So far here in the playoffs, Shea is averaging a 33-point double-double, 33 points with 12 assists. 9 from Thompson, 20 from MPJ, 19 from Mobley, and 19 from Chet. And now in the second round of the playoffs, we're taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. They have themselves Ty Jerome, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Julius Randle, and Naz Reid, with Ayo Dosunmu and Rudy Gobert off of their bench. Game number 1, we will end up winning. Shea with 30 and 11, 30 from Holmgren, and 17 from Mobley. We also go on to win game 2. Shea continues dominating with a 37-point double-double, 21 and 11 from Chet Holmgren. We win game 3, and we go on to sweep the Minnesota Timberwolves. In the Western Conference Finals, it looks like the Phoenix Suns did go on to defeat the Golden State Warriors, and now they are here in the Western Conference Finals. They have themselves Devin Booker, Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, Ryan Dunn, and Kaman Maluach, and this will be their bench unit. I'm not sure why they're starting Ryan Dunn over Andrew Wiggins, but I mean, I guess it has been working for them if they made it this far. Let's see how things go here. Game number 1, we do end up winning 39 from Shea, 37 and 14 from Chet Holmgren. Game number 2, we also go on to win 26 from Shea. Our team is dominating. We outscored them by over 30 points. Game number 3, we also go on to win 125-109. MPJ leading the way here with 25 points. And are we also going to sweep the Phoenix Suns? Yes, we will. We have not lost a single game here in the playoffs so far. In the Eastern Conference Finals, we have the Brooklyn Nets taking on the Detroit Pistons. And the Nets are up 3-1, and it looks like the Nets do make the NBA Finals, with Giannis Antetokounmpo winning Eastern Conference Finals MVP. And on our side, Chet Holmgren wins Western Conference Finals MVP, averaging 26 points, 13 rebounds, 3 stocks, while shooting 63% from the field. And that means in the NBA Finals, we have to take on the Brooklyn Nets, who have themselves Giannis Antetokounmpo. They signed him in free agency. They also have Nolan Traore, Jaeger Demon, Pele Larson, and Nick Claxton at that center position. Let's see how things go here. Game number 1, we do end up winning. Mobley dropping 35 points with 4 blocks and 2 steals. MPJ 28, 24 from Chet, 23 and 16 from Shea. Shea has been amazing here in the playoffs, averaging a 30-point double-double. Game number 2, we also going to win. Mobley 28, 24 from Chet, 21 and 12 from Shea. Game number 3 will end us putting us up 3-0. Chet leading the way here with 24. We win this game 119-93. And all we now have to do is win one more game, and then we win ourselves a championship. And again, we have not lost a single game here in the playoffs so far. And are we going to end up losing our first game here to the Brooklyn Nets? No, we do not. We do end up winning this game, winning the Oklahoma City Thunder a championship, with Evan Mobley winning Finals MVP, averaging 25 points per game. And honestly, I did not think the playoff run would be this easy, sweeping every team in every series we've played here to win ourselves a championship. Before I end up this video, let's go ahead and take a look at player stats. So in the playoffs, we played a total of 16 games, and in those 16 games, Shea was the leading scorer, averaging 28 points with 10 assists, 23 and 10 from Chet, 20 and 8 from Evan Mobley, and 18 from MPJ. In the NBA Finals, we played a total of 4 games. In those 4 games, the leading scorer was Evan Mobley, averaging 25, 8, and 5. 23 from Chet, 22 from Shea, and 20 from MPJ. That is going to be it for today. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please make sure you hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new for more NBA 2K26 videos, and click here on the screen to watch my latest upload. Until next time, it's your boy Dragon, and I'm out. Peace.